Hello and welcome to another episode of Ask the Experts. I'm Rachel Landry, and today we're joined by Katrina Schweikert, a product manager here at the company. Today, Katrina will be talking to us about the new Kriging tool in Global Mapper Pro. All right, Kat, take it away.
So Kriging is a geostatistical method that we're going to use to estimate a value across space. So this weights nearby features in a systematic way, and it predicts new values. It's really good for unstructured data like this, where our data is not evenly distributed, but you can use it on regular measurements as well. The weights are going to vary based on the correlation as well as the distance. So that's how it varies from methods like inverse distance weighting. And so what I have here is some air quality data. So this is for the continental US, and we've got a little data point down there for Puerto Rico as well. We have a bunch of different statistics here. I'm going to take a look at the ozone value. And so we've got some measurements for ozone for 2022. This is from the US EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. So they've measured the ozone in the air, and we want to kind of estimate that value, those values that they've measured at specific locations across the entire country in this case. So to get to this tool, we're going to go to the analysis menu and go down to Variography and Kriging. And I'm going to turn on my data of interest here, which is ozone. So the important thing here that we want to look at first is the variogram. So this is telling us how the variance or the difference in values is changing over distance. So on the x-axis here is the distance. So this is kilometers or meters away from a given point. And on the y-axis here is the variance. So this is the difference. We also have the points here represented as error bars. So this is showing the standard error of any given measured value. So jumping back to our settings here, we can look at a number of different attributes. In this case, it's showing the 10th percentile. I'm actually going to change that to just the maximum value. So we'll just look at the overall maximum ozone across this data set. We can also nicely apply that attribute so we can color our points based on those values, sort of automatically like you might do through the layer options as well. So I'm getting, in this case, I think I'm getting darker colors here for higher values and sort of the lighter yellow for lower values. One thing that we want to look at when we're starting to use this method is also the histogram. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. This is really designed for Gaussian data, so this sort of bell curve regular distribution. This is a good data set for that, and we do have a fairly regular distribution of our data. So on our variogram here, you can see that sort of as we move away from a given point, the difference in measurements of all the other values is going to vary. We can change how many different bins we're using here. In this case, we've got, well, that's for the histogram. We've got 100 bins that we're sort of splitting up my 2,360 features into. So that's kind of a good generalization of some of the data. What we want to do here is take a look at some modeling of this. So our empirical variogram is showing the actual data values, and now we want a theoretical model so that we can figure out sort of how to model this across space. So in the theoretical section here, I can try some of these different models. So a straight linear model is going to tell us, based on a straight linear model, sort of how good that prediction would be. So we get a pretty decent chi-squared score there of about 10. So this is measuring the sort of difference between our observed values and what the model would predict at a given location. So the lower we can get that chi-squared value, the better. So linear option would be one option, linear model. Let's also take a look at some of these other models. The spherical model does pretty well here. We're getting a chi-squared score of 8. Another common one that we might use is the exponential model. This is actually, in this case, one of the better ones, jumping down to 7. We can also try things like Gaussian model. And if you have sort of directional variance in your data, we can factor that into account as well. And actually, let's jump back up and look at the sort of direction, how this data varies in different directions. So we can turn on the variogram map as well. So based on the direction of our data, we can see if there's sort of a pattern in the values in a particular direction. So this one doesn't have a very strong trend in it. I can model that with an ellipsoid. So we can turn on the range ellipse here. You can see this, in this case, it's pretty circular. I don't really have a strong north, south, east, west kind of trend. And we can dial it down even further into this plot, but just as a kind of quick overview here, we just want to make sure we don't have any really strong directional trends in our data. So let's go ahead and now use this information to create a Kriging surface. So I'm going to go to the bottom here, and I'm going to produce an elevation grid as an output here. And I want to change my data model that I'm using. I think I decided that exponential was good for this particular data set. That gave me a really good chi-squared score. And let's go ahead and generate those Kriging estimates. So up in my results here, the first thing that's turned on is a point cloud. So you can see the point cloud kind of across space at any given location, what we're estimating for values. We can also take a look at an elevation grid version of that. So this is the maximum ozone prediction for the country, across the country. So some high values and some low values, a lot of high values in the southeast, it looks like. What's unique about Kriging is that you also get an uncertainty measure. So as we get farther away from our measured data, obviously we're going to get higher uncertainty in terms of our estimate. So that is one thing that is very unique about Kriging, is that we actually know across space how sure we are of any given prediction. So that's really good information to have if you're going to use this data in other contexts. So that's a very quick overview of the new Kriging and Variography tool, which is a really powered geostatistical tool for modeling data across space.
Thank you, Kat, for talking to us today about the Kriging tool. I know that our users will be excited to implement it into their workflow. To learn more about Global Mapper and Global Mapper Pro, please visit bluemarblego.com today. And as always, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Ask the Experts, and we hope to see you next time.